right, let's get into and dig into the business of law. Now, lawyers are a crucial part of the justice system, taking on cases, interpreting the law that guides all sectors. Now, as the legal system expands into accommodating the business side of it, now the Business of Law Conference, organized by a stakeholder, seeks to equip lawyers with skills and strategies to gain mastery of the business side of law practice, to see so they can deliver client-centric legal services and enjoy a thriving and profitable legal career. That's the focus of our next discussion. Now, if you have the intention of going into law eventually, then grab a paper and a pen and you'll be writing something. Joining us in the studio to talk about this, the Business of Law, is the convener, the Business of Law Conference, founder, Strictly Law Business, and that's what we're talking about now, Olubusola Ajala. It's nice to have you join us this morning.
Thank you. Nice
Welcome.
Good morning.
Great.
Good morning.
Now, when we were discussing this topic earlier, I was considering at the corner of my mind, maybe it's time to go back to school and study law.
Perhaps you need to.
Oh, amazing. Okay, now let's dig into this. A lot of persons feel that the legal profession is a challenge, very difficult profession, because you have to read and read and read in a situation where people's attention span is so short and so many persons just want to watch videos and just want to see graphics and see infographs and then move on, as the case may be. Talk to us basically with the preliminaries of the law profession, how interesting it is for any individual like you.
Okay, so I said to myself and to everyone around me that I think one of the best decisions I've made in life is being a lawyer.
Wow. I know someone is thinking in the same way too. I didn't mention names anyway.
Because I think being a lawyer, I say that your law degree is your oyster. It gives you the opportunity. It's a platform that gives you the opportunity to become anything and everything you desire to be, right? So I think that the law profession or being a lawyer is an interesting thing because you interface with all manner of people, and to some you appear to be their God because, I mean, you get judgments.
The learned one.
Exactly.
Hallowed one. You know.
Exactly. You know, you get to defend them, you get to be their advocate, you also get to do transactions on their behalf, you're negotiating and all of that. So for me, it's an interesting profession. I know it comes with a lot of work. You have to read, you have to learn, you have to keep, reading. But I think that if you have made up your mind to become a lawyer, then there's no looking back. You just have to do the work.
Great.
Right, and I'm also, well, my takeaway from what you said so far has been that, as a lawyer, you can be anything you want to be. It's like a visa or a ticket, to be in anything you truly want to be. But in line with your mandate now, so you're a lawyer now, but then you see a gap somewhere that it's one thing to be a lawyer, but then it's another thing, even after you've given advice to diverse range of clients, but then there seems to be a gap, according to you now, for lawyers who still don't know how to go about, the business side of law. I want you to just break down, this issue and why your service is relevant.
Okay, so by our training, we realize that we're taught to do the law, to know the law, to apply the law to several cases in defending your clients and all. But we're not taught to be businessmen and businesswomen in our thinking, in our modus operandi, the way we execute, because again, you set up a law firm, you expect that clients would come. Yes, definitely clients will come. You get judgments for them. You help them resolve all their matters. But what is coming to you as a lawyer at the end of the day? Do you have structures in place to ensure that, you have, because every organization has, a business department, a finance department, a branding, marketing, and all of that. All of those departments are what makes up the organization. So, for instance, the banking sector would not say, oh, we're just here to, help you keep your money or save your money, and so we don't need, we don't need a marketing team. We don't need a sales team. No, every component makes up the banking sector and every other organization. But for us as lawyers, because by our training, we're just taught to focus on, the advocacy, access to justice, helping our clients. So really and truly, we really do not have any understanding or inclination about business. And so you find out that as a lawyer, you do all the nice cases for your clients, you get judgments for them, they keep telling you the law. But at the end of the day, there is nothing in the,
your pocket.
Yes, and we need to focus on, the business that brings in the bacon for us, so that we are not going to bed hungry, so that there is money in your pocket and you can have all the nice things, that every other person have. You can also, there's this gratification that comes from it, that you are being rewarded for the quality of work, for the service that you provide to your clients. But unfortunately, that's really not the case for most lawyers. And so I saw that, that gap, and I felt that it's important that we begin to address it. It's important to begin to expose lawyers to the consciousness that law is also a business. As much as we are advocates, as much as we, try to ensure access to justice for people, we also should be well taken care of. We should be well remunerated. And for that to happen, we need to understand the dynamics of doing the business.
All right. So at what point should any lawyer begin to become conscious of the business side of it? Because as it is, some are in the profession already, have been practicing for years, months, decades, depending on what level of society you are or how old you are, as the case may be. But at what point should one begin to think consciously of the business? Because the moment you're drawing attention to that money side of it, some people can be so money conscious to the level where they undermine the standards of what the rule of law is supposed to be. So speak to us from that window.
I believe that from the moment you decide, you make up your mind, as a law student, you should become aware of the fact that I would eventually become a lawyer, and I need to understand the dynamics of, how the legal profession operates, and make up your mind on how you want to go about it at the end of the day. Because at the point you become a lawyer, it may be too late, right? And I know that in universities these days, there's, this course on entrepreneurship and all of that, but I'm not sure if the faculties of law have that in their curriculum. I'm not very certain about that. So I think that there should be that awareness, that consciousness of, being enterprising in your approach to your profession, whether you are a lawyer, but in this case, we are talking about, the lawyers, right? Everyone should have that, entrepreneurial approach to whatever business we are doing, lawyers inclusive. Now, I get your point in terms of how do we ensure that we are not just focusing only on the money, but we are also ensuring that the real work, right, is being done. So it's all about balance. It's all about balance. And the good thing is that for us also as custodians of law, the ethics of our profession dictates and expects that at all times you must be about, getting justice for your clients. It has to be about delivering quality legal solutions to your clients, not just about the money. Of course, the money may be, a motivating factor, help you to do better, but the ethics of our profession.
It's expected that any case that you handle for a client, the client is certainly supposed to pay a certain fee for whatever case that you're handling. Well, it could vary from person to person depending on what relationship you have with the person. Absolutely. And how you want to help or how do you want to be disposed to it. So is that different from the business? Because that's also brings money.
Okay, so that is not different, because of course you have to get remunerated for the work you do. But how do you go about charging? How do you go about billing, pricing your services?
Okay.
Because you may be doing a great work, but you are collecting peanuts. So it's important that as much as you want to, we do a lot of pro bonos, but there has to be a limit to the number of pro bonos, because pro bono will not feed you. So as much as
pro bono helps the society.
Yes, it helps the society, and that's why we have lawyers who, now have NGOs such that they get funding to help, with access to justice and helping the less privileged within the society. If that's your calling, fantastic, you can go about it. But not everybody would be in that space. And for those who are not in that space, it is important that they understand, how to bill, for their services. Because if you do not understand how to bill or price your services, you just find out that you are doing excellent work and your clients are happy. They are going to bed happy, but your bank account is crying.
We'll come back to this because one would say that could be making the legal service more expensive. But we'll come back to this. Let's